Hello and welcome. I am Mundane Failure, and this is Jeskai Turns. Let's play. Alright, so here I have a list that is being played in the Strixhaven Open by both Luis Scott Vargas and Reid Duke. I'm sure other players from Channel Fireball are playing the deck, but those are the two who I know for sure are playing it. And I just want to highlight the deck because it is fairly popular in the historic metagame and a pretty cool combo deck. Be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed the deck. The goal of the deck is to take a bunch of extra turns, and we have two ways of accomplishing this. One is by casting Time Warp from the graveyard with Mizzix Mastery. So we can cast it from our hand, it goes to the graveyard, then we can cast it again with Mizzix Mastery. Or we can use Velomachus Lorehold to cast it for free from our library, and then we get to cast it again with Mizzix Mastery from the graveyard. So that's kind of that combo. The other card that we want to play with Mizzix Mastery is Magma Opus, which is a very powerful 8-drop from Strixhaven. The way we're getting Velomachus Lorehold into play is through Indomitable Creativity, which lets us sacrifice a creature or a token and put a creature from our library onto the battlefield. Playing Dwarven Mine to make creatures, and we can cycle Magma Opus, we can make a token with Prismari Command to get those free artifacts or creatures. The rest of the deck is pretty much card advantage and burn and a little bit of permission in Memory Lapse and Miscast. So we're going to go ahead and play a few matches in best of one just to see how the deck feels, and then we will come back for the wrap-up. And this is a fine hand. Not great. We're playing against an aggro deck. We're happy to see these burn spells. Opponent mulliganing. Hopefully we're not playing against the Tybalt's Trickery deck. Play out a tap land here. We're playing against aggro. Oh, Reanimator, okay. We might not be able to do much against Reanimator. Magma Opus. So we will play out a tapped Dwarven Mine here. We want to make sure we have enough red mana. Faithless Looting for the opponent. And they put Burial Rites and actually third red mana. Let's put a Lorehold into play. And I guess we'll cast Brainstorm. All kind of garbage. At least we get to get in for 5. I don't know why they played that tapped. They could have returned a Sheoldred, and we would lose. Lightning Axe. Sheoldred's just better, I think. I'm not sure how we're supposed to win this game, frankly. Maybe they're worried about Miscast. Mizzix Mastery for an ultimatum. We'll scoop it up. Stand is fine. Not in love with it. Scavenging Ooze, so that's got to go for sure. We get to put Lorehold on the bottom. And we are facing down some trouble here. Pretty rough positioning for us here. Can't Memory Lapse this unless we give up our mana to take an extra turn. Three, 6, 9, we're dead. Brittle. Just a little bit too fast for us. Start with the tap land here. Probably gonna have to play a Dwarven Mine out. Tapped. Grafdigger's Cage. So that does not shut down Mizzix Mastery, because we're not casting the spell out of the graveyard. We're exiling it and casting a copy. It does shut down Velomachus Lorehold, though. But at least Velomachus is still a 5/5 beater. Put 2 Magma Opus in the graveyard.
I battle a curious choice.
You can have Mind Stone. Deal 4 to you. it.
You are acting unwisely.
They're just ramping. I gotta be afraid of Eldrazi here.
I'll make use of that later.
Take an extra turn. Take out the Karn here. Although perhaps it was right to just ignore the Karn from the get. Full of misplays there. I think that we should have Indomitable Creativity, which would have let us put a Lorehold into play, get an extra 5 damage in. And I just jumped straight to combat. And then we played the land before we cast Expressive Iteration, which is always a misplay. Logan the Ineffable.
Every exploit ripples through time. Be mindful.
Okay.
Bathe in ghost fire.
We'll take a Velomachus Lorehold here. Ugin's gonna destroy the Lorehold.
I am ancient and wise. Heed my advice.
I have faced worse than the likes of you.
Your past is unwritten.
You will not threaten this world.
Godpharaoh statue, of course. I don't have the mana. Get rid of both these planeswalkers here.
There is always another fight.
And at least we drew a Memory Lapse, so we get to send that Godpharaoh statue to the top of the library. Brainstorm here. Creativity's good. Just put a Lorehold into play here. The opponent should be at 2 here. We hadn't messed up. And that's it for the opponent. Perfect. We got our first win. I'm not in love with this hand, but we're bound to draw a Dwarven Mine, a Magma Opus, or Prismari Command. Mono black aggro. So we gotta be kind of fast here. We need 4 mana anyways. Either way. I think we need to just deal with that so we don't die. Smartly not playing anything into counter magic. Heartless Act. Good for you. We can take a bunch of extra turns here, but I don't know what good it's going to do for us. With nothing in play. Fatal Push our token. Okay. Go for the Lorehold here. Hopefully they don't have another eliminate. Heartless Act. Time Warp. Prismari Command is fine. Those are garbage. Do you have Mizzix Mastery for a Time Warp? Expressive Iteration before we do anything. Take a Mizzix Mastery for a Time Warp. Time Warp. And that's lethal? Holy shit, I can't believe we won that game. We draw blue mana, this hand is good. I don't think we can keep it. This is fine. Get to send a Lorehold to the bottom. And then we get to send another one to the bottom with this Fire Prophecy. Wrong. Power of Expressive Iteration is drawing 2 cards. We're playing against Phoenix. Brainstorm here. Put back 2 cards we're not really stoked about. Take a blue source here. We'll Expressive Iteration. Take a Mizzix Mastery. And that's why you don't play your land before the Expressive Iteration. Storm against D, you got it. We'll cycle our Magma Opus. We'll take a Magma Opus. Get rid of the Stormwing Entity. We draw Indomitable Creativity, so that's good. Shock into shock. It's fine with me, Pillar Flame. Phoenix dealing their first bits of damage on turn 5. Nope. Ooh, that's brittle. Take a Magma Opus, send Lorehold to the bottom. Fire Prophecy in hand. Or in exile, rather. We'll put Prismari on the bottom. Pillar of Flame. Shock. They might as well have gone face there. Let's go to combat. We'll take a time warp. That'll be it for the opponent. Not too bad so far. I think this is a keep. Probably playing against a control deck. Weird start so far from the opponent. Mizzix Mastery while we can. Just get in for 4 here. Memory Lapse. That's why we play a couple of Memory Lapses in the deck. We didn't hit Time Warp. Or land for Time Warp, rather. Let this one resolve.
I know my responsibility. You need to slow down.
Do this just to draw a card here. Expressive Iteration from the opponent. Teferi can go back on top of your library. We draw Indomitable Creativity, so we probably just win here. That was not bad. Not a bad win. And we are back here for the post-game wrap-up. The deck feels very strong. Obviously, it's a combo deck, so if you don't draw your combo pieces, you're not going to do well. And it's pretty hard to cast Velomachus at 7 mana. And we've only really got 4 white sources in the deck with the Triome. But overall, the deck performed pretty well. Fairly strong, and I can definitely see why people are playing it. It's not my favorite deck for sure, but it's definitely a strong one, and if you're playing against it, I think a good way to really beat it is just counter spells. That's really the only way you're really going to beat this deck. You're either going to have to go under it, or you're going to have to counter what they're doing. So just keep that in mind when you're playing against this deck. I hope you really enjoyed. Be sure to hit that like button if you did, and I will see you in the next one.